I found a mattress in my attic that wasn't mine, and it was still warm. My name doesn't matter for this. What matters is the house, a 2-story rental on Birchwood Lane, just outside Dayton, Ohio. I signed the lease in March. Old place, hardwood floors, a pull-down ladder to an attic the landlord said was just for storage. I didn't think about that attic once in the first 2 months. Then the sound started. Not scratching, not the wind, not the house settling. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate ones, directly above my bedroom ceiling, always between 1 and 2 in the morning. I'd lie there, staring up, telling myself it was raccoons. Raccoons don't walk in a straight line and then stop for 10 full minutes like they're listening. I called my landlord, a guy named Pete, who managed 6 properties, and answered his phone like every call was an inconvenience. He said the attic was empty, said he'd sealed it himself before I moved in. I believed him because I wanted to. 2 weeks later, I lost a container of leftover pasta from my fridge. I told myself I'd eaten it and forgotten. Then a bag of bread went missing. Then half a rotisserie chicken, bones and all. Gone from the counter overnight while my back door was locked, and my dog, a beagle named Otis, never barked once. That's when I started locking my bedroom door at night. That's when I noticed the attic hatch in the hallway ceiling didn't have dust on the handle anymore. I climbed up there on a Saturday afternoon, flashlight in hand, telling myself I'd find nothing but old insulation. Instead, I found a mattress pushed into the corner, a stack of my own missing food containers, a phone charger plugged into an outlet I didn't know existed, and a milk jug half full of yellow liquid. The mattress was warm. Someone had been lying on it minutes before I climbed up. I didn't sleep in that house again. I grabbed Otis, drove to a Motel 6 off I-75, and called the police from the parking lot, with my hands shaking too hard to type the address correctly. 2 officers went through the house that night. They found the attic exactly as I'd described it. They also found something I hadn't seen, a second, smaller crawl space behind my bedroom closet, accessible from inside the attic, with a hole cut through the drywall just large enough for a person to watch through. It lined up perfectly with the gap in my closet door. The gap I always assumed was just bad carpentry. Here's the part that still gets me. The police ran the fingerprints from the milk jug and the mattress frame. They came back to someone named Curtis Ames, the tenant who'd lived in that house for 4 years before me. Pete had evicted him for unpaid rent back in January, 2 months before I moved in. According to Pete, Curtis had taken it hard, real hard. Pete never mentioned that. He just handed me the keys and told me the place was move-in ready. Curtis was arrested 11 days later, 3 counties over, living in the crawl space of a different rental house whose new tenant hadn't moved in yet. When police searched his backpack, they found a notebook. Pages of it were filled with my daily schedule. When I left for work, when I walked Otis, when I usually went to bed. Some pages had my name written over and over in the margins, like he was practicing the shape of it. I moved back to my parents' place for a while after that. I still sleep with the hallway light on. And every single night, right around 1 in the morning, I find myself looking up at the ceiling just to make sure it's still quiet. The video doorbell app buzzed at 3:14 a.m., and the man on my porch was already looking directly into the camera, like he knew I'd be watching. I live alone in a townhouse, outside Tulsa, on a quiet street called Red Bird Court. I'd installed the doorbell camera after a string of car break-ins in the neighborhood, mostly for insurance purposes. I never expected to actually need it. The first clip was nothing. A man in a grey hoodie standing on my walkway, not knocking, not moving, just facing the door for almost 6 minutes before walking away. I told myself it was a drunk guy who got the wrong house. I didn't call anyone. I probably should have. He came back the next night. Same time, almost to the minute. Same spot on the walkway. This time he lifted his hand and pressed it flat against the door, like he was feeling for something. And then he was gone before the clip even finished loading. I called the police that time. They took a report, said they'd increase patrols, told me to keep locking my doors. I already locked my doors. I started locking my bedroom door too. 3 nights later, the doorbell camera caught him a 3rd time. Except now he wasn't looking at the camera. He was looking past it, up toward my bedroom window, and mouthing something I couldn't make out. I watched that clip maybe 30 times, trying to read his lips in the porch light. I still don't know what he was saying, and honestly, I don't want to. I bought a second camera the next day, a small one for my living room, just to feel like I had eyes on the whole ground floor. I set it up myself, tested it, went to bed feeling almost safe for the first time in a week. At 3:14 a.m. exactly, my phone buzzed with a motion alert from the living room camera. Not the doorbell, the living room. I opened the app with my heart already climbing into my throat, and there he was, same grey hoodie, standing in my living room, perfectly still, facing the hallway that led to my bedroom. He wasn't coming through the front door. He was already inside. I called 911 from under my bed, whispering the address, listening to my own house through the floor, a slow creak on the stairs, then another. Then silence that felt worse than any sound could have. The police arrived in under 6 minutes. They cleared the house room by room. They found an open window in my guest bedroom, one I never used, with a screen popped cleanly out of its frame and set down neatly on the grass outside, like whoever did it wanted me to know exactly how they'd gotten in. They never found him. What they did find, 3 days later, while reviewing my doorbell footage frame by frame, was an earlier clip I'd missed completely. From the very first week I owned the camera, weeks before any of this started, a man in a grey hoodie, standing on my walkway at 3:14 in the morning, already staring directly into a doorbell camera I hadn't installed yet. The first text said, "You should really close your blinds," and I was standing in my bedroom in the dark when it came through. I live in a duplex outside Columbus, Ohio. Shared walls, thin windows, a landlord who never answers calls. The number was one I didn't recognize. I figured it was a wrong number and went to bed. 2 nights later, another one. "Blue robe looks good on you." I was wearing my blue robe. I hadn't told anyone that. I blocked the number. A new one texted me within the hour. "That won't work. There are a lot of numbers." Police came out, walked the perimeter, told me there wasn't much they could do without a name. I bought a security camera, mounted it over the front door. The next text said, "Nice camera. Doesn't see the side window, though." He was right. It was a blind spot I hadn't even noticed. I started sleeping with a bat next to my bed. Then came the one that changed everything. "Don't go to the Kroger on Sullivan tonight." I went anyway. Nothing happened inside, but in the parking lot, a man fell into step 10 feet behind me, matching my pace exactly, until I locked myself in my car and he walked past without a word. My phone buzzed as I pulled out. Told you not to go. I changed my number the next morning. New SIM, new carrier. Nobody had it but my sister and my landlord. 4 days of silence. On the 5th night, nice try. That's when I stopped thinking about strangers and started thinking about who actually had access to me. A technician sweeping the duplex found a small cellular tracker wired into a shared electrical closet, connected straight to the other half of the duplex, my neighbor's side. I'd met him twice. A quiet guy named Roy, always polite, always said hello, taking out the trash. Police found a laptop full of screen recordings on his computer, months of them, time-stamped and organized by date. My kitchen, my bedroom, my blue robe. He'd tapped the shared panel to route a hidden camera feed through his own network, texting me in real time from a stack of prepaid phones under his bed. Roy was arrested. I moved out that same week, 3 towns over. Told no one my new address, except my sister. The first night in the new place, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Nice place. Better lock than the last one. Roy was already in a cell by then. Phone confiscated. The detective called it a copycat. I don't believe that for 1 second. I still check the locks 3 times before bed, and I still haven't figured out how to close blinds on a window that doesn't have any.